Hello everyone, it's Cam from Arsenal Theory Podcast, and it's going to be a short video today because there's a lot to do in the house and out and about. So I'm going to get a quick one done before the game tomorrow. So first thing, just want to have a look back on the West Ham game on Wednesday, and then we'll talk a bit about the Newcastle game. In terms of the West Ham result, I'm not disappointed to be necessarily out of the competition. I was very disappointed with the performance and some of the players that came in, and it's clear that there's some things that aren't quite kind of clicking with some of those players. So very disappointed to hear that Smith Rowe couldn't make the West Ham game, although part of me is obviously not happy he's injured, obviously, but there is part of me that's glad he didn't get to partake in that, because I don't think it would have made any difference, the result, him playing. And there's a few things. So you had the likes of Fabio Vieira, who came in, and Kai Havertz, and really didn't cover themselves in any kind of glory. The first half, it kind of looked like Havertz was putting himself about a bit, and he looked interested, as opposed to previous games where he's pretty kind of, I don't mean it horribly, like a bit gormless in that sense. Doesn't give much away in his expression, but he was putting himself about a bit. And, I was thinking about it, and I've seen people kind of coming up with all these sort of stats and explanations and things as to why it's not working out for him. And it's all just bollocks, really. I mean, he's just not in the flow at all. And I don't know what the problem is, but he doesn't seem to do anything particularly well, apart from maybe win duels. But we haven't spent £65 million on an attacking player to win duels. At least I certainly hope not. He doesn't really have a great first touch. He definitely didn't against West Ham. He's not really doing like cheeky, cultured kind of through balls to people, like through the lines, feeding in Nketiah or someone else on an overlap or underlap. So that's not really like an aspect of his game. He doesn't really do long passes either. So it's not like he's going to have the ball on the left-hand side, look up and see Ben White bombing down the right and, 40-yard cross-field pass to switch the play. And he's not really a shot goal monster either. So you're just kind of thinking, what have we done here? What have we done? Mikel was asked a question about Kai Havertz in his press conference today, where they basically said, look, are you concerned with his form? And he came out with what I call LinkedIn management speak, where he basically said, I'm not going to talk about any individuals. It's a team performance. It's the team plays, And that's bullshit management consultant LinkedIn speak for, yes, I am concerned, but I'm not going to talk about it. At least I hope that's what it is. Because if he genuinely isn't concerned, then Mikel's head's not right. As fans, we can be fatalistic and think everything's doom and gloom. But when it comes to that Havertz transfer, the only good thing about it is that he is available. He doesn't look particularly injury prone. He has played a lot of minutes. This is the other thing. It's not like he's got minutes here and there. He's played a lot of minutes. And yeah, he has done some good things. He got an assist in the City game, but come on, let's be honest here. He laid the ball off. He laid the ball off to Martinelli. It's like, wasn't a particularly difficult thing to do. So I don't really know what the future holds with him, because it's nowhere near clicking. And Partey's out. We got rid of Xhaka. We didn't replace Partey. I'm getting off topic here. I was talking about the West Ham game. But, it's that was an opportunity for him to lay a marker down, and he really, really didn't. And it's just clearly looking like a flop. Vieira, awful game. Just no presence about him. He said his wife just had a baby, so I don't know if he's had no sleep for the past few days or whatever, but he's really looked off the pace. Still looks just wafer thin as a human being. And between Havertz and Vieira, that's £100 million we spent. And there's nothing there. There really isn't. There's not much. So yeah, I'm going to be doing a video at some point on I'm going to look at all the incomings that's happened with Mikel. I might look at the outgoings, I don't know, but I'm definitely going to look at the incomings because I don't think the hit rate is as high as people might necessarily think. I think there's a lot of duds in there that a lot of money has been spent on. So obviously Thomas Partey missed out. He's out for weeks. Smith Rowe's out for weeks. Gabriel's out for weeks. A lot of this stuff. I mean, Smith Rowe apparently felt something in his knee after the game against Sheffield, but some of this is happening in training. So, is there an issue with how hard they're training? Guardiola was talking about how with Haaland, because he's so big, they don't. It takes him. He said it takes him time to recover, so he doesn't train as hard as the others. But I don't know if Mikel implements something like that, and I'm not saying he should, but has he considered it that maybe some players, shouldn't be trained as hard as the others? So yeah, we'll get to see. So yeah, Vieira didn't do himself any justice, and same with Havertz. I thought Kiwior did well. I thought he looked pretty solid. I was very impressed with him. Zinchenko looked busy, but again, he kind of lost his man for the goal. From an attacking point of view, it was great, but from a defensive point of view, let himself down. And then we come to Aaron Ramsdale, who had an opportunity to not silence doubters, because he hasn't really got many doubters. It's to really back up what a lot of people have been saying, that he should be getting picked. And he really didn't. He didn't do anything to go, okay, right, I'm the man now. Could he have saved any of the goals? Possibly. There were no like complete howlers in there. But if you're going to win your position back, there are a couple of saves that you think, oh, maybe I should have been able to have made. So he looked a bit jittery. The goal, he got fouled for the first goal. However, really, as his shirt's being pulled, he should be kicking off more, and he's not. He's just still kind of in the goal, not throwing his arms up, shouting at the ref. And once again, he's been done on a corner, and people target him because they know he's weak on corners. So I fully expect David Raya to keep his place going forward. So in terms of going forward, Newcastle had a magnificent result. They slapped United 3-0. I caught kind of like the second half of that after the Arsenal game finished. Oh boy, they looked very dangerous. They looked very pacey down the middle. I'm really worried that they're going to be like a hot knife through butter and just cut through us in that St. James's Park atmosphere. I saw that atmosphere in the Dortmund game. I know they lost, but they hit the post like 4 times and Dortmund were hanging on. It was very aggressive, very, very front-footed. And I just hope we have the calmness to play through it and not get caught cold. Because it's the kind of atmosphere after like 10, 15 minutes, you could be 2 or 3 down. And I really don't want that situation happening. And we were really poor against West Ham. So hopefully the players can pick themselves up. I fully expect Raya to keep his place in goal. Saliba will come back. He didn't play against West Ham. Declan Rice will come back. He didn't play. Odegaard will come back. He didn't play either. And Saka and Martinelli. So, we did have a lot of players kind of rested or whatever. The main thing, though, is who starts up top. If you've got Eddie, who was just anonymous against West Ham, or do you go with, really, you've got Eddie, Havertz, or Trossard. And I have no idea what the manager's going to do. I really don't know. I'd be tempted to start with Havertz up front, and then maybe bring Trossard into that left side position. I wouldn't play Vieira. He's going to get eaten up in that atmosphere. So we would have Havertz up front, Martinelli on the left, Saka on the right, Rice, Odegaard, and Trossard maybe. He's been playing Jorginho a lot recently though, so maybe he'll go with him. He is a calm head, but it's just going to be such a pacey game. Someone like Jorginho, I just feel like he's going to get. It's just going to get wind rushed in it. Really, it's going to be too much for him. So there's a lot to consider there. I think it's Saturday evening, 5:30 kickoff. To be fair, Newcastle have got a lot of injuries as well. They've got 6 or 7 players out, but you wouldn't have thought that looking at the United, looking at the United result, they played really, really well. And Isaac's out, but Callum Wilson looks like he means business. Joe Willock looked like he's coming back into some forms. Obviously, he used to play for Arsenal. So if he picks him, he's going to be bang up for it. Hopefully, what we need to do, I think, against Newcastle is really keep that crowd quiet early on. Hopefully, maybe Odegaard can pull some magic out within the first kind of like 10 minutes, like a nice goal from 30 yards out on his left foot, like he did last season at St. James's Park. And we did win there last year. We played really well, but we had Jesus that made a big difference, and we haven't got Jesus. So that ball is going to have to stick up front, which is why I don't think Eddie should start, because the ball doesn't particularly stick to him. I don't think anyway. Whereas one of the benefits of Havertz is he is a dual monster. He's big and he's tall. So you think that he would be able to bring other players in like Saka or Gabriel running off him. So yeah, no, it's a real quick one. Like I said, I've got like a million errands to get on with. So if you enjoyed the video, please like, please subscribe, please comment, and I'll be seeing you again over the weekend talking about the result. Hopefully 3 points. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.